Tomorrow is D-Day for these four bidders hoping to replace Roman Abramovich as Chelsea's owner. It's worth pointing out that for such an urgently run process, because of those sanctions imposed on Mr. Abramovich, that this is a process which has attracted a lot of very credible bidders. Now, all four of the shortlisted contenders to buy Chelsea do have significant financial muscle. They've all got sports owning expertise, notably in North America, and they also have, importantly in the context of Chelsea's Stamford Bridge home, experience of redeveloping major sporting arenas. Now, in no particular order, the four shortlisted bidders are as follows. One is headed by the Richest family, which owns the Chicago Cubs baseball team. That also includes Ken Griffin, a Wall Street hedge fund multi-billionaire, and Dan Gilbert, who owns the Cleveland Cavaliers. The second consortium is headed by Todd Boehly, the part owner of the LA Dodgers. He has teamed up with a Swiss billionaire called Hans-Jörg Wyss. He's backed by Clear Lake Capital, an American investment firm, and Jonathan Goldstein, a London-based property developer who happens to be a lifelong Spurs fan. The third of the shortlisted bidders has been put together by Sir Martin Broughton, the former British Airways and Liverpool Football Club chairman. His consortium includes backing from Josh Harris and Dave Blitzer, two American private equity executives who happen to own shares in Crystal Palace FC, which they will need to sell in advance of completing any takeover of Chelsea. And that bid also has backing from another American sports owner, a man called Vivek Ranadive, who owns the Sacramento Kings. And then finally, the last remaining consortium is headed by Steve Pagliuca, the co-owner of the Boston Celtics and also majority shareholder in Atalanta in Italy's top flight. So again, something that will need to be addressed there if he's successful in his bid for Chelsea, because of the possibility of Chelsea and Atalanta appearing in the same UEFA club competition in future. Now, that last bid also includes backing from very well-known business figures such as Bob Iger, the former boss of Disney. And what's an interesting common thread about all of these four shortlisted bidders is just the amount of money that's been committed to these consortia from across the Atlantic, which underlines just how the Premier League in England has become a magnet for American money over the last 20 years. Of course, Liverpool, Manchester United and Arsenal all include Americans as their majority owners. Now, from here, the process will run over the coming weeks, with Rain Group, the merchant bank that was appointed by Mr. Abramovich to oversee the sale of Chelsea, sifting through these bids over the coming days and then deciding on a preferred bidder probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Rain has already gone to the Premier League to scrutinise these four bidders under the Premier League's owners and directors test, and so it shouldn't be too long for Chelsea fans to wait to find out who the new owner of the club is going to be. It's also worth mentioning that all four of these consortia have had to give legal undertakings to invest at least £1 billion in Chelsea's future as part of their offers. That £1 billion will of course be largely directed at redeveloping Stamford Bridge, as well as continuing to invest in Chelsea's academy and hugely successful women's team. And if you assume that bids will be in the region of £2.5 billion just to buy the club itself, plus the £1 billion minimum of investment that's required to persuade Rain and the club's board to sell to them, then we're talking about a total commitment here of around £3.5 billion or more, and that will make it the richest sporting franchise sale in history.